Giving all praise, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAKHAKWADASH. A double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And a sincere shalom to the Akim out there pushing the sincerity and the truth and the sound doctrine. Really quick video. This is actually a post put up by GMS North Carolina. I believe this brother's name is Hawad. So like if I got that wrong. Anyway. Really quick video. I don't really have much to say about this, and this is not exactly just on this, but this is like, when I do videos, I do videos on things like this just in general. So it's not just specifically on this, right? So, woman says she can't get hired because of her appearance. The the phone notification came in just in time for that. I mean, that's why I said this video is going to be quick. This woman, obviously, like most other women, they go around and they say, don't worry about what everybody says. You're beautiful just the way you are, and however you do it, and this, that, and the other. Even if you're 800 pounds, you're still beautiful. You're still this. You're still that. It's just a delusion that people, pretty much people in general, live in, because you got arrogant men out there that are pretty much the same exact way. In fact, a lot of times these women get it from men, and vice versa. These men can get it from their mothers. That's just that arrogance that they think they're just the hottest thing on the planet. I wouldn't hire anybody looking like this myself, to be honest. And then the fact that, she gets on a platform and says that, and makes this known, proves that she still doesn't think she's in the wrong. Proves that she still don't think that she's in the wrong. If you're trying to get, people in general are not taught how to carry themselves. I mean the women, the men, but especially not the women, because the women have more rights and they have more freedom to do whatever it is they want to do. So, people aren't taught on how to conduct themselves, in this wicked society. There's still a way you have to conduct yourself. And people aren't taught that. All right. This place is full of unrighteousness and infirmities. This land is in Job 10, in the second to the last verse and the last verse. This is the land of darkness, is darkness itself. All right. And anybody walking around like this is just ridiculous. Or walking around like this trying to get hired. Let me say that. It's just ridiculous. I've seen worse, obviously, but you're trying to get hired. That whole freedom thing. That whole freedom thing has really messed a lot of stuff up, man. All right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get this. Like I said, really quick scripture. Really quick video. I don't know why my keyboard is acting really crazy right now. It's like typing in things that I don't. Yeah. Anyway. Salakia. This is Jeremiah. Let me get this in another translation. All right. Let's try the NIV. This is Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 21. I planted you like a choice vine of sound and reliable stock. How then did you turn against me into a corrupt wild vine? And that's what we are right now. We are a corrupted and vile and wild vine. Right? We and this goes into the curses too. Because this, you notice, man, it's mainly our people that does stuff like that. Right? Deuteronomy 28 says what? We're going to be looked at as a proverb, a byword, an astonishment, right, among all nations. So, other nations see this, they clicked out. The other nations see stuff like that, and it's just like, yeah, see, that's what we told you about them people. But what you other nations don't know, especially for you JEWSs, right? Uh, what y'all don't know is that, yeah, we all messed up, but what you don't know is this is all part of the curse. This is all part of the curse that we have to go through. All right. You don't really see on a high scale level. You don't really see um a Moabite doing that, an Edomite doing that. You know what I mean? Any other nation, the Jews, they ain't doing stuff like that. Again, this further proves who the true people of God are. The true people of God are going to do stuff like that because we're under a curse. It's showing. I mean, even other Edomites can see that. You know what I mean? So anyway, man, like I said, the scriptures talked about stuff like, seeing stuff like that. A woman with tattoos all over her face, and trying to get hired like that. And stuff like that. And like I said, for her to get on a platform and say that, yeah, I can't get hired, proves that she wants a pity party. You know what I mean? She wants a pity party, and everybody to say, yeah, that's wrong. That's wrong. She should get hired because, it's all about acceptance. Well, every job, most job applications tell you to come, to a job with some a good appearance. You know what I mean? A really, a half decent, a half decent appearance, I guess. Right. Anyway, man, that's pretty much all I got on this, man. We are now degenerates. If you go into that word, the definition degenerate, it's inferior to one's ancestor. So we have always, for most of our existence, we've always been, it's like I said, for most of our existence, we've been stiff necked. We've been a very hard headed and stiff necked people, right? But now we're even more hard headed and more stiff necked because we have no idea who we are. We want to be everybody else, like what you saw in that picture. Those tattoos all over the face and stuff like that. That's all that's heathenistic traditions. All that stuff is heathen stuff, man. But we want to be everything but what we actually are, and that's Israelites. Right? So anyway, like I said, that's all I got on this video. It was real short. I just saw that and I was like, man, just a reminder, man, when you are out there and you see our people and the way they are, just remember that they're just degenerate. Hell, we all are, but they are really degenerate. You know what I mean? And keeping that scripture, believe it or not, can help you throughout the day. You wouldn't think it would, but it does. All scriptures do. But you wouldn't think a scripture like that helps you throughout the day because it helps you understand. You can't get but so mad at them. I mean, it's the curses. You know what I mean? But just know that it's a reminder and it's an uplifting thing as well, as to know that the Lord he still can have me that way. So what you gotta do, you gotta pray harder so you don't turn out like that. So anyway, giving all praise, honor, glory to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Shalom.